As I pointed out in my email and my next door post, how this is going to work is I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves to the people that came here today, to the community. They'll have like a 3 to 5 minute introduction to you about who they are and what they're about. And then we'll open it up for question and answer. And we're going to try to limit it to like 3 minutes, per question and answer type of session, just so everybody gets a chance to ask a question and they can respond accordingly. So there's no particular order, so I'm just going to go ladies first, if that's okay with you, Jay. So we'll start with Julie here. So take it away.
Well, my name's Julie Neumann. Most of you in this room know me. I've been in Windermere for 4 years. I moved here originally from Houston.
Oh, time's up.
Well, gee, you're going to kick all of us out of here, okay? Since I know a lot of you are also from there. I moved in Texas in '81. I basically have 3 children. I have 2 daughters and a son. One daughter still in Houston, but they own 3 properties out here in Spicewood. I get a lot of knowledge from them because my son-in-law is a hydrology engineer for Harris County. So he's very well versed in the LCRA here. They've had property out here for over 25 years, so I'm not new to Spicewood. In fact, his slogan is, "Every day is a great day in Spicewood." And I had to be given one of those mottos. Basically, I'm running because I want to get this ship on the right path again. I was president of the POA. I basically built my house in 20. Went on the board that year in the POA and then was president in the year of 21. We had a lot of accomplishments that we did. Some of you in here were with me on the board at that point in time. Today I still do stuff for the POA. I run the gate and I also work the social committee chair at this moment. And I also work with the grounds because I love landscaping and also love animals.
Does a good job.
Huh?
Do a good job.
And do a good job.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up doing the gate. The gate kind of happened because I'm getting ready to say what I do for a living. I work with high-end owners of all these gasoline stations that you see across the United States. I work with corporate Chevron, Exxon, I could go on. 7-Elevens that you see locally here. I've done it for over 30 years. I work troubleshoot problems every day with the owners, with technicians. I have a lot of technical in me, which is why I ended up doing the gate, because software that we use and what I do today was pretty similar to what we do, what runs that gate down there. So pretty much when the old management company, thank God we've got rid of them, the old management company basically said, "Oh, we can't have it ready for Memorial Day weekend." I said, "Okay, give it to me, let me see what I can do." So needless to say, we got it up at that point in time. Before the time that I have here in Texas, I've also worked industrial pneumatics with hydraulics. So like I said, I have a lot of technical in me. I don't know everything about this water company. You haven't seen me around much this last fall because I had to go to Indiana to spend time to take care of my mother, putting her in retirement. So that I might disappear once in a while, but I'm not gone too long, and I'm never far away from what's going on because I'm always connected via this electronic world that we live in. So that's pretty much it. Yes, open questions or maybe questions?
No, I'm gonna let Jay, speak through the time and everything. But thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Well, I'm Jay, and the brief background for me is I was a military brat. My dad was a fighter pilot in the Air Force, so born in England, we traveled all over the world, lived in, oh my gosh, over 10 states throughout the country, and 2 or 3 foreign countries as well. So he relocated here to Austin in the mid-70s and retired at Windermere Air Force Base. So I finished out high school at Westlake High School. I got my undergraduate degree at the University of Texas, then I went up to Baylor and got my master's degree up there. And so during that 10 to 15 year period, high school and college, I mean, as we all know, these were lake houses. I knew this as second homes and lake cabins and people coming up here for the weekend, and have seen it develop into full-time community, obviously, where many of us, or most of us, have our primary residences. So I did move away in the 80s, and I started up a commercial real estate appraisal company. My primary office was in Phoenix, but I also had a satellite office here in Austin. So I've been back to Austin 5 to 10 times a year over the decades, and all of my family's here. I developed my company to whereby we became the largest appraisal company in the state of Arizona. I had offices in Phoenix, Arizona, one here in Austin, and then also in Northern California. And CBRE bought my company in 2014. I brought 15 of my appraisers with me, and I spent 5 years with them, and I managed offices at CBRE in Phoenix, Tucson, Albuquerque, Las Vegas, Reno, Fresno, and then Northern California, the Bay Area, with offices in Sacramento, San Francisco, San Jose, and Walnut Creek. So I helped them all open offices in Fresno, California, also in Reno, Nevada. And I guess the relevance for me is I feel like these are traits and qualities that can bring something to this board position. After 5 years with CBRE, I went to work with Colliers International. They brought me back here to Austin, and I opened up offices for them in Austin and San Antonio, and I now oversee the Texas-Oklahoma region with offices in Tulsa, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. So I've lived in the world of opening offices and operating businesses. I've lived in the world of many, many times over the decades, cost containment, budgets, which a lot of these board positions entail. You know, I operate in budgets, help set budgets every year for all of my offices and my regions. And we bought our house about 2 years ago. I've always wanted to move here as our primary residence to the Spicewood area, so Lynn and I have been here for 2 years. We love it here. It's our primary residence, and I'm just excited about trying to bring whatever qualities I have to this community and even the city. And because I'm in real estate, we know it's going to grow, and we appraise a lot of properties in this community, and I'm interested in just sort of maybe helping bring thoughtful and planned growth to the community. That's best for all of us. So, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Put this together.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Next, set of forum is going to be the question and answer, but I do want to start off to also include Judy Miller, who's here. She ran in position 4 unopposed, so she will be appointed to the board on the 24th of February. That was a resolution that was passed by our last board meeting. So if there's any questions for our newly elected to be seated board member, Judy Miller, she's in the background. She is here with us as well. But this is kind of focused on position 5 candidates, Jay and Julie today, for you folks to get to understand, to ask your questions, and see how they respond. So what I want to do is I'm going to limit it to 3 minutes as far as for an answer, and I'm going to kind of limit the follow-up questions until we get through everybody else if we could on this type of forum. So I'm just going to kind of open it up to you. Raise your hand if you have a question. Go ahead, Jeanette.
Hi. Good morning. I'm Jeanette Rosas. Nice to meet you.
Who's this to? Are you gonna? Is it to Jay? To both of them?
No, it's to Jay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know Julie.
Okay.
Jay, do you live here in the community?
Yes.
You do. Okay.
Yes.
And you've worked out of Austin, correct?
Well, I work all over the state.
Okay.
But yeah, we
That's my
bought
next
here
question.
about 2 years ago in early 2022.
Okay. My question is are you? It sounds like you've got a lot on your plate as far as your businesses and stuff going on. I'm just wondering how much you're going to be able to be available for this board, because we've had past board members that have worked in Austin, not lived here or whatever, and were never here for the board meetings. And so it's very frustrating going forward, getting anything done with him always being absent. And so that's my next question is, are you available for this position, in that capacity?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I guess my best answer for that is not necessarily a response that my wife is going to like, but I've had cancer, I've had a brain tumor, I've had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so over about a 10-year period, I had 3 brain surgeries, cranial surgery, I had multiple rounds of radiation, chemotherapy, everything. And why that's relevant is over that 10-year period, I was coaching a Little League baseball team, high school students, and that I had coached for several years. And I was also at that time running my own commercial real estate appraisal businesses, where we had offices in Phoenix, Austin, and San Jose. And I never took a day off. That's why I said my wife, not her favorite answer to that question, but I never took a day off. When I had chemo, I went in the office. When I had radiation, I went in the office. I didn't miss a single baseball practice, not a single game. That was my therapy. So everybody's always told me you have a lot of irons in the fire, but that's what motivates me and gets me up every day.
Good. Congratulations on all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
As a fellow survivor of cancer, so yes.
Yeah.
I can
Wow.
empathize.
Good for you. And Lynn, thank you for that. So, okay. Next question. Brian.
For both of you, we have a troubled board. What are the top 3 problems, and how would you go about correcting them?
Their view of what the top 3
Yes,
problems
exactly.
are.
I
Okay.
mean, their position, right?
Okay, yeah, let me, you want to address, it's for both of them?
Each one.
Okay. I'll let you guys decide who goes first on that. Okay.
Well, number 1 is to get control of the bank account. Resolution to that is, I've worked with Patty to getting an injunction to actually get control of the bank account. Number 2 is to have a in-depth analysis done, survey done, that can be presented to the community, to the members, with pictures that show exactly the state of our affairs, of the actual equipment, the water company, the sewage side, the tanks. I was pretty disappointed, probably a lot of you were, to find out that the fire hydrant over there didn't even function, because when I was on the POA board, I remember we took time to go and get it mowed because nobody even knew where it was. And then on top of that, to find out that this tank that George had told us about forever that was going to be a clarifier couldn't even be a clarifier. So to me, I know you said 3, to me those are the top 2 things that we need to do. And the other thing is, as far as, the board, I think we've also talked about getting in alignment with what the PUC, when their final ruling comes down, as far as getting the bylaws fixed. Because if some of you have read the emails that have gone back and forth, a lot of them got changed, or parts of it got changed without the members' approval. So by what the PUC says, we're going to need to have a whole new one done. And that'll be for the members, for all of us to review, we have to go through with the fine-tooth comb. That's kind of what I am. I'm a detail person that gets into the weeds. So, that answer?
Anything
Good
else?
answer, thank you.
You good?
That's it.
Okay. Jay?
Yeah, and I'm obviously relatively new to the community. We've been here 2 years. I'm not as familiar with all the history. I'm learning about it as much as I can. I'm reading as much as I can. I'm getting involved in the community as much as I can. My background is business, and I'd like to bring that to the board. And one is looking at the financials. How's the money being spent? Where is it being spent? How's it being allocated? That's kind of what I do. That would be probably one of my first priorities. The second would be to get familiarity with the supply issues, and I'm going to work to solve that as best as possible. But I will spend time getting familiar with the activities of the board and stay heavily involved and bring the qualities to the board that I can.
Okay. Anything else, Jay?
No.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Anybody else? Judy?
Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I hope to see you in some of our board meetings. I just wondered, you've been here 2 years, have you attended any of the board meetings?
No, I have not.
Because if you do not, if you get the position, there are limitations on how many you can miss.
Right.
So that's a cautionary tale. So,
Right. I understand.
and the board meeting is not only to participate in, working with the board, but you get to know your neighbors. I don't live in Windermere. I live in Dripping Springs. I have property at the airport. I have water and sewer. But I've gotten to know these people by showing up at board meetings. And I will say, if you want to be on the board, I hope you're at every meeting and every special meeting and everything you can, so you can get to know your members. I'm still learning these folks, and I've been to, I think, every one that I can think of since the last annual meeting and the PUC meetings. Those are that would be something you may want to do if you're part of the board. They're open meetings, but we can't talk to them, but we can watch and they see us. So I would say it would be a good thing for you to be more visible. Okay? And that's all I have.
And let me just add a comment to that about board meetings and regular. Renee and I have talked about that. That is one of our problems that I think will help the whole board and the community. Is one of the things that we plan to put forth is a set of regular scheduled meetings. The first Tuesday of every month, 6 o'clock at the community center. I'm not saying that that's when it is, but that's what we're going to propose for the entire calendar year. It's not one of these things like, oh, is the board meeting at 10 o'clock on a Thursday or is it at 6 o'clock on a Friday? You will know what the schedule is, which helps all the board, the entire board, because we have lives outside of this, but it gives us a chance to plan. So it's one of our initiatives from Renee and I's standpoint to get a regular board meeting, especially in 2024 with the challenges that we're going to face with the rate appeal and compliance filing, and we're going to have regularly scheduled meetings. So that will help everybody's schedule for Julie and for Jay and the rest of us here about that, and the community. So Renee and I are going to push really strong about that, coming in February. So anyways, I just wanted to add to that. Okay, another question. Danny.
All right.
Is it to both of them or?
No, it's to Jay.
Jay, okay.
So, assuming you don't know that we've been mired in corruption with the water company for about the last 8 years, I had 5 questions. Judy asked one of my questions, but I think I can package my first question into one, because you're in the real estate industry and whatnot. So, my question would be, what is your relationship with Dana Martin, if any, Dana Martin and Joe Jimenez, and are you aware that they have cost our community millions of member dollars, with Ms. Martin being found guilty in civil court of conspiracy? And what is your stance on that?
No relation whatsoever. I am aware of the lawsuit and what's taking place. I am aware of the damages. My stance in terms of them or the situation?
Both. And if I could clarify, is for the last 5 years, she has campaigned and successfully gotten people on this board that have done all of her bidding, and it has cost us dearly. So, me, personally, I can't speak for anyone else in here. Have you never been attending a meeting? I'm incredibly cautious.
Yeah. No, I have no relationship with them whatsoever.
Danny,
Never crossed paths at all.
Danny, can I ask a clarification question?
Yes.
Jay, when you say lawsuit, can you describe which one? I don't know which one you have familiarity with, because there are a couple, and there's a couple big ones. I don't know if it's the one, the property which started this whole fiasco. It's the rate appeal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
a little bit about both.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
the rate
That's good.
appeal,
Okay.
yes, the property. I'm
Yeah.
aware.
Okay.
Yes, I
Good.
am
Okay.
aware.
Okay. That's good. I just wanted to kind of
Right.
put that out there to say which one, because
Right.
we faced a few of them.
She has a history of pulling the new people in, and most of us have been there, and telling her side of the story and then trying to get people in here to do her bidding, and it has cost us.
What is her business? She's right down the corner.
She's a real estate agent.
I don't know her.
Okay. Good enough. Good
Is
answer.
she a residential?
Yes.
Everything I do is commercial, so I've never crossed paths with
She's in
her.
commercial too.
Well, I don't even know, I don't know her.
Do you know Bolton?
No.
You don't know Bolton and you're in the appraisal business?
I mean, I know the name, but never met him, never crossed
He
paths.
runs the appraisal board.
No.
Chance Bolton. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
My realtor in Dripping Springs that sold my house years ago, we were talking about something going out here with property, and he goes, oh, that wouldn't be Dana Martin, would it? And he's in Dripping Springs and does ranch man. He knew,
Well, that's, you know,
he knew all this,
Okay.
so, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What, anybody, next question, or do you have a follow-up?
Oh, yeah,
I'll give you a follow-up, because
Let
we
me
still
just
have
have
time.
one more, and then I'll just leave it to everybody else. So, and historically, year after year after year, the postcards start coming out about the people that are Jeff and Renee, the people that actually care about the community, so that they can get them on. So I know Jim Ness has already started sending out emails besmirching Julie Neumann. Do you support this?
Support what?
So the sending out of emails in postcards maligning the other candidates.
No,
Okay,
not at all.
perfect. I mean,
Straightforward answer.
perfect.
We need. Go ahead, yes, absolutely.
I
This
did-
is news to us. Yeah, good, thank you for
That's all
that.
right. I just want to be clear, because some of you may have not all been here, but when I was on the POA board, I was a person with one of those postcards that went out that basically said I was not legitimately elected to the board because the POA allows the votes, somebody to be nominated from the floor versus how the water board does it, where you have to do what we're doing right now. So I just want to be clear in case the postcard appears with my name on it in black and white, that we went through all that before. So we're hoping they don't appear again, but again, none of what was in there was true, as we all know.
And I've been a victim of that too as well,
Yeah.
so.
You're also on probation.
Raise your hand if you have been.
Yeah.
I
Let us all be clear.
have a
We're not
website
here,
dedicated.
you know, really new or attacking you by any means.
Yeah.
It's just that if you haven't been here and you haven't been to the board meetings, you're walking into a hornet's nest here. And we just want to make sure that you're going to be aware of this and that you're going to be here for the members and not for your own special interest. So we've
Very
been
good.
inundated with that.
Very good statement.
No, I mean, it's all fair, and I understand that. You know, I guess it's like my upbringing, I was a transient kid, right? Never really had a home or a place where I grew up, so we've made this our home, and, you know, I mean, my wife will testify again, that when I do something, it's 100%, right? I mean,
It's 100%. Believe me, he looks out for others before he looks out for himself.
Yeah.
He's
You can
for
tell.
his cancer.
So
Yeah.
He didn't want his company, sorry, to go under because he's having cancer. No, he wanted all his employees to remain employed. And he worked every day, despite my, objections.
And Lynn, some of the chaos we're having, we're trying to straighten out. I mean, we don't want all this chaos that's been going on and such, so, you know, we want to be able to take care of our, you know, the other board members and such, so don't be fearful of the group here, we're just
No, I'm
we're just
not. Oh, I'm
concerned,
not.
you know,
I'm not at
we're
all.
just
I'm
concerned,
just
so,
trying to-
and that's why this is here.
So no, I respect your
Good
concern,
response,
I
yeah.
completely understand it. I know I'm new to the community, I've flown into, many hornets nests throughout my career. I'm just excited about it,
Good.
ready to get involved.
Question, Brian, excuse me, Patty, I'll get, yeah.
For both of you, can you think of a time in your career or your family life where you've been among people in conflict and you were able to step in, figure out what the problems were, and negotiate between the two, hopefully get them to be friendly again?
I laugh on that one only because I'm still going through it a little bit, but I'm going through it with my own family. I just got in telling you that this fall I spent in Indiana. I only have 2 other sisters, but I have a very, very, very stubborn mother, and trying to get anything done across the family, but we were able to get there only because once you point out all the parts and pieces and you show what's the good that you're trying to accomplish, like you get little tiny steps to get moving in that direction. I dealt with it on the POA. The POA, one of the hardest things we did, some of you in here would remember, we tried to pass a resolution on short-term rentals. And we had several town halls relating to that. Needless to say, we didn't get it passed, but we helped people at least become aware of what our issues are. Kind of sidestepping here just a second, it's one of the things everybody in this room, whoever comes on this position in the board, needs to be aware. This is a big challenge. We have a huge challenge ahead of us. This is like wiping the slate clean and starting over again. And that's literally what's going to have to happen. And there's going to be a lot of hard decisions that are going to have to be made. Some of you in this room may not agree with them because, as Jay made a comment, financially, we may not be able to do the things with the money that we want to do. And we may not be able to get 100% back of what we're expecting to get back. And so, like I said, I'm sorry I sidestepped there on you, but.
Jake? Yeah. Just comment what you were saying. We have a short-term rental across the street from us, and we have a short-term rental across the field from us. I mean, I don't need to say any more as to how some of our weekends go 6 to 8 months out of the year. But to answer your question, I mean, I could probably give you, I don't know, 20, 30 examples throughout of my business. Throughout the 35 years I've been in the business. I had my appraisal company for 22 years, 5 years at CBRE, and now I'm past 4 years at Colliers. I think my best answer to that is I've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of appraisers that have worked for me over the decades, and I've never burned a bridge. In fact, out of those hundreds, I've had probably 20 to 30 that have left my company or left working for me as their manager and have come back to work. When I was at CBRE, I had appraisers that worked for my company, and they followed me to CBRE. I'm now here in Austin. I've had appraisers move from Phoenix, Arizona to come work for me. And again, these are people that walked in and sat across the table from me and gave me their resignation, and I shook their hand and said, you know, best of luck. And I don't feel like I have an enemy in the appraisal world, and that's, I mean, we all know that's really, really hard to do. My second answer to the question would be, Lynn and I are a blended family, and we have somehow survived coming up on 22 years. So when we got married, I have a daughter, she has a son, she has a daughter. They're all within 3 years, so everybody was like, wow, you guys were really busy. And it's like, no, we're blended, you know. But they were 8, 9, and 10 when we got married, so we had to work with both of our exes, the blended situation. We both had 50-50 custody. We had to make our families work. We had to get along with our exes. We had to turn our kids, you know, into believing that, you know, your brothers and sisters and this is one family. So, so I feel like we've done a pretty good job of that for 22 years.
Okay. Good. Patty.
Okay. I think everybody in the room knows me. I just introduced myself. I don't have anything written, and I might ramble, but somewhere in here there's a question for both of you guys. So, I'm going to be direct, and some of you guys may not like this, but we're a complete mess. And anything that you guys say, well, we got things to fix, yes, but we're a complete mess. And y'all know that I'm the ratepayer representative. I have spent, I don't know how many hours in the last 4 years in this rate case, sifting through all the documents submitted. It's coming to an end. The results just came out, and the water rates are going to be $70 and some change, and sewer. and there's refunds coming. So people that pay water and sewer, your bill is going to be roughly $38. And that's taking out the attorney expenses. Windermere was not transparent throughout this whole course, and I suspect they did the mafia book, book A and book B, and it got so convoluted that all the numbers and everything that PUC had to go on, they could only assume that Windermere was telling the truth. So just in this issue alone, Windermere is going to go, when I say Windermere, the water company, from pulling in $60,000 a month to around $24,000 a month. So we've got issues there. We've got issues with the tax return. There's been fraud on the tax returns we've discovered. They're not what's that word? Allocating, but they're not putting in the tax returns on the 990s that we're taking in non-member income, which we're subject to pay 20% income tax on. These are just two examples. Just two examples. I don't even know, and I'm going to shoot you guys straight, because I know this stuff inside out. I don't even know if this water utility, what the future is for us. Because now we've got infrastructure that are having issues, 40 years old. I mean, in my opinion, this whole entire infrastructure system needs to be upgraded. And no two ways about it, it's failing. We've got pressure on that fire hydrant out there. They're taking the water, it's putting pressure on our lines right here. They're busting. I mean, it's completely a mess, and I'm just scratching the surface. So I applaud anybody that's going to get on the board, and we need some healing in this community. We've got wounds that need to be healed. And anyone that gets elected to this board, and anyone that is sitting on this board, this is, I'm sorry, but it's become like a full-time job, as I'm sure you two guys can attest to. This is not something that you're going to take on and just go, oh, it's working at night, it's working on weekends, it's answering your emails at all times, you've got to look at it. You know, this compliance filing, they found that there's, election fraud. We've got fraud with our financials. It's a complete mess. And the rates that when they come out, when the commission, whether it's the 1st or the 15th, the meeting, that's immediate. Those rates have to be implemented. And you have got to find everybody over the last 4 years that have paid and they get a refund. And there's a handful of people that don't live here. That's a lot of work. Who's going to be doing that? You know, and so I just want to, I guess somewhere in there's a question. Do you guys understand this? Are you up for it? Because it's tough. I mean, for the last 4 years, I don't know how much time I've been in this, and at times I wanted to walk away, and I was like, no, I didn't get anything out of it. If anything, I paid probably $10,000 of my own money to ensure that we got lower rates, because this was unjust and unreasonable. So I'm here to tell you, you're going to be on a roller coaster ride, and if anybody knows me and knows Danny, we're all about integrity. We don't get anything out of this. We want to do what's right for the community. And we hold people accountable. I mean, these two guys know it. We'll go after you if you're not doing things right, as you know from the emails on the fire hydrant. I'm like, it's not right. It's a violation of a tariff. I will do that to whoever gets on the board if you guys aren't following the tariff or the bylaws. I pull no punches. I'm sorry. This is a member-owned, member-controlled, and according to the taxes, member-managed utility. So I just want to see what you guys think about that. I mean, I want to know, because this is not something to take lightly, and I'm in contact with PUC weekly, having conversations with them about this utility. Just submitted something to TCEQ, so yeah, I mean, that's it. So I want to know, what do you think about all of this? I mean, it's tough. It's a roller coaster ride. You got to know what you're getting into here, because there are going to be some things that you're going to be like, oh my God, this is, I can't do this. This is too much. We got to have monthly meetings.
All right, what's your question?
So I want to know, what do you think about all this? This is not something I'm just saying for everybody to have a chuckle over. This is serious crap. And if things don't work out, we could be going into receivership if these board members cannot steer the ship right.
We'll double the board members' pay.
No, I mean, let's,
There's
yeah, that's,
serious.
yeah, let me just, Patty, can I just summarize your question? Are you two up for a battle? Because I think I can speak for Renee and I. Renee and I came on the board in April of last year. It's been 10 months, 11 months of just wows, a lot of wows, a lot of like, oh my God, are we in the hot seat or what? But we're in for the fight. We see the light down there, but you know, but it's there, and we just need some help, and we need some dedication, and we need some brains to get us through this 2024 and 2025. Those are going to be the tough years. Those are going to be the tough years.
Okay.
I think that's what you were asking, Patty, right?
Let him speak.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also, you gotta know our tariff. Have you read the tariff? All this stuff, you have got to spend hours. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah. Okay. Go, Julie.
So I had to think about that before I decided to do this, but been there, done that, because I went through this on the POA. Now this one is much worse. I realize that it's much worse, but again, I guess that would be my question to Jay. I did this because I want to help the community. I want to help us get us on the right path. I'm not somebody that makes a decision quickly if something's put out. Like I said, I'm going to study the details on it. And yes, I've spent the hours. Michelle's standing back there. Greg was with me on the board, but Michelle knows how many hours we put in when I was on the POA, when I was the president of the POA, and we went through the short-term rentals. That was our the biggest part of the battle, along with many other things with the builder and so on. So to me, this is just another one, but just another avenue, basically, as far as what's going to be needed to get us through on the water side. So.
Jay?
Yeah, so first, I respect your passion. That's what's needed, right? That's what's needed for change. So, I mean, you're a huge voice, and your passion is what drives it, and I think that's what we have to have as a vested interest. So, I have a vested interest at this point. This is where I choose to live. This is where I am choosing to live for the next 20, 30 years of my life. This is where we live. This is where we walk the streets. These are the communities that we enjoy. Like you say, you know, the infrastructure. We all walk around, would like to see things better within this development, within this community. So it takes people like you and that kind of, I call it anger.
Tenacity.
Yeah, that kind of passion to make change. So, yeah, I'm absolutely up for the challenge.
All right. Question, Michelle.
Well, my question is, if you aren't seated as a board member, what's your continued obligation to this community? Because every person that is standing in this room has committed time, energy, and effort to try to turn the ship around. And although she is the leader and she has committed hours and hours and untold number of hours, everybody here supports what's going on. And we throw our hat in the ring whenever the time is needed. So, I mean, I'm going to be real straight up. I have reservations about voting for someone for a board. That's never going to go one board meeting. But if I see you and I see you, I think they're going to start working on committees. Put your name in the hat for committees. Learn what's going on in this. Understand our tariff. Show all of us here that you're committed. Next time around, I'll do it.
Okay, is that a question? Is that a question or a statement? What's the question?
The question is, if you don't make it on the board, are you still committed to this water supply corporation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking for different ways to get involved, not only in this community, but also throughout the city. So I respect how you feel. You know, but sometimes new blood is a good thing. It's not necessarily a negative. Sometimes new blood is what any business or organization or any community needs.
It's not a negative in most situations, but we are hanging on by a thread with water supply corporation. We're getting ready to lose our water supply corporation. Potential bankruptcy.
No, we're not. Not gonna let it.
Okay, I'll take that
I
back.
beg to differ.
We are
Not gonna let that
we are hanging on by a thread. Our water supply corporation has suffered corruption, malice, you name it, fraud, yeah, you name it. And we've had a general manager for 25 years that run amok. And so to me, a person who is not familiar with all that history is at the learning curve may be too high to get us through where we need to go in the next year.
If you don't know the history, you can't move forward.
So, I'm just stating my personal opinion, and it has nothing, I think you've presented yourself extremely well today, and you've gained my respect. And so, and very professional.
Yeah, and my response is I respectfully disagree with you. I've spent 35 years I've walked into businesses that I turned around. I didn't have to know. I managed offices all over California, all over Nevada, all over Arizona. Those are businesses, those are operations. I knew nothing about them, and I walked in and I turned them around. My career is proof of that. I didn't need to know the history of how all the operations were in Nevada. I learned them, and I turned them around. So I respect your decision, but I have to respectfully disagree, because that's how businesses are turned around many, many, many times.
Fair. Fair question. Brian?
Just a quick one for both of you. I'm not sure how you'll answer them together. What are the qualifications to sit on the board per the charter, whatever it's called? What are the qualifications? What are the minimum qualifications to have that position?
Well, first of all, you have to be a member of the corporation. You're the one that has to be actually on the certificate that they file. We're all vetted as far as that was concerned. You have to be 18 years old, and you have to be committed to abiding by what all the, I'm just going to call it all the laws, basically from the Texas law to our local bylaws, articles, etc.
Well, I thought it was committed to a mental institution. I'm going to tell you that. I read that one wrong. That's a reward. Anyways, Jay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the application was, you had to agree, obviously, as a member of the water corporation, and the application was to agree to all the stipulations and bylaws.
Nothing else? How about you have to be, what is it, out of reform school for a certain amount of time? You can't be a criminal.
No
Or
violation
either of you a criminal.
No.
Brian, I haven't shared the FBI background check with you yet, but I will.
The third point is no felonies.
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say there's no felonies.
Thank you.
Questions?
I got a couple more.
Go. Hey.
Do you understand what the tariff is and how it works? And if you do, please explain.
Julie.
People in Texas need.
I still have to dig
Here's
it
how I
up.
like to do it. I like to make that a yes or no answer, because the tariff is so many components and parts.
But they can summarize what it's about.
If they know, yes.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. But if they don't know it, you know, a simple no is not that they don't understand it, but
So I'll say no.
Okay,
Yeah,
Julie.
I'm going to say partial, because I just dug up the 111 pages that it is, and I literally, like I said before, I go through and study it with a fine-tooth comb of, oh, we can do this, we can't do that, that type of thing. So I'm still working my way through it.
okay, that's fair enough. Question again? Ben? You said you had two. Oh, go ahead, Danny.
Okay, two questions. One, so they took in millions of dollars of our money from 2020 to current. Do y'all support forensic audit for those years?
Support.
So forensic audit of accounting where, because you're new, you don't know this, but there was gross misreporting of our financials. And in fact, it wasn't until recent, 2023 treasurer got a thumb drive with the financials on it. But there's been gross misreporting. Do y'all support a forensic audit from 2020 to current?
I would say, yes, I do, as long as we can get a hold of. My stipulation there is if we can get a hold of all the documents that we need to get a hold
Well,
of.
then,
And that's very speculative that we can even do that.
the forensic auditor would know if he had all his documents.
Yeah. So I definitely yes, because we need to know if we've where we've lost pieces, let's put it that way. We all feel like they've taken,
Exactly. Let me talk a little bit, because the point's exactly right. There's a contract let already 2.5 months ago to a qualified auditor organization with experience in the WSCs, and somehow the word got to them to do nothing. So this last week, there's a second auditor organization is established, and their contract for straight off is for 3 years, and we can do more as well. The laundry list of the documents that they need is enough to drive them both to drinking, but we're going to build them and we're going to get it done.
Jay,
Is
did you
it- is
answer?
it- Yeah, is it financially feasible to do that? To
Well-
do the forensic audit?
As far as the cost, is
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Is that,
If I may, it was financially feasible to pay $2 million in
That's
somebody
correct.
else's legal fees.
That's it.
I think it's owed to the membership to know what happened to that money, because there's money missing.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't think this
so.
corporation can move forward without having one done, because,
You're right. The PUC is going to require it straight in order.
yeah, I mean, because going back to what I said before, we're dealing with books A and books B, and until we have one legitimate, the books, finances, that we're just running in place when it comes to figuring out what's going on here.
Okay.
All right, is the answer
Question.
yes?
Oh, I'm sorry?
Oh, yeah, I had one more.
Go ahead, follow up.
So, I think part of the compliance filing is they want us to adopt a version of the USDA bylaws,
Hybrid.
a hybrid. Are you in favor of that? And let me just finish with that, is what they've kept from us for all these years is this: we actually did. The USDA offers super low interest loans for water supply corporations.
In favor of accepting it?
USDA bylaws.
Yeah, probably.
Here's the caveat with the USDA bylaws. 6 years ago, I said to George Burris, the former general manager, why don't you guys get a USDA loans almost at 0% interest rate, specifically for utilities? He said, no, we don't want to do that. I said, why not? He goes, because it handcuffs us. Because we can't do what we need to do. They make us adopt the USDA bylaws. The members have a say. The bylaws can't be changed without the member voting for it. We have oversight. Every year they have to do an audit. They have to submit financials. And he said, we don't want to do that. We can't operate under those conditions. You are seeing now the results of that.
And since Jay's new,
And
there's
George
never been an
should have been
audit.
the guy in handcuffs at that point.
There's never been an audit of our books, ever.
Yeah, wow. That's a good answer there, Jay. It is kind of wow.
The 3 loans that we have with CoBank, the fine print in T's and C's requires audits as well. However, through the discussions that have gone back to them, they said, well, if you in fact provide us your end of year reportings, your profit and loss and balance sheet, says they said for a smaller organization, they give you a check mark. Ours were falsified each year.
Yep.
Other than that, it's great.
he's shaking his head.
It's a mess.
Question.
My question is, the 2 original people that's on the board now, when is their term?
I'll take
Oh,
that.
that's
Okay.
another.
Yeah, it's a very good question. So, so we have Dorothy Taylor, who's up on the 19th of March. Okay? So, one of these positions is Dorothy's.
Where are they, by the way?
But it's not the 19th, it's
The 2 other ones.
No, hang on. Well, the 15th, whatever it is, 15th or 19th, it's one of those days. So, that's Dorothy Taylor's position, that's position 5. Very good question. Where are the other board members for this? So, what will happen on 2/24, if one of these people are elected, they'll be a board member in waiting, or just like the President of the United States gets elected on the 7th of November, doesn't take office until the 21st. We're going to ask Dorothy to resign and appoint position 5 on that day, on the 24th. Judy will be appointed on the 24th to the open board seat. It's in a resolution.
Fortunately, the resolution is worded that way, and
Yes.
they signed it.
And we passed that at the last board meeting, so Judy will be seated.
All right.
Now, position 5 may not be seated until the end of the term, and that's going to be based upon Dorothy, 21 days, 22 days after. So that's
So
it.
no matter,
Now, this is just position 5. Rich will still be on the board.
okay, but what my thing was gonna say is, one of these people can run again for that position.
That's they can run again for Rich's position the following year.
Well,
Yes.
not Dorothy's?
Well, no, this is
Oh,
Dorothy's
this is
position.
Dorothy's.
This is Dorothy's position. Position 5 is Dorothy. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're saying one of the two
Yeah,
years.
she's not-
One
she's
of the
not
persons
rerunning.
here could rerun.
Yeah.
Or could run for that position next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if Rich resigns, one of these two can be appointed. to-
Absolutely. Very, very good point. And I
And
think
should
that,
be.
I think as a group, as a membership, because I've experienced that when I,
Or the lack thereof.
or pseudo lost to Dorothy in my first time trying to run on the board. When that gentleman resigned, I can't remember who it was. Help me out. Who resigned?
Anderson?
No,
Oh,
Vadrine.
Vadrine, Marcus
Yeah,
Vadrine.
Vadrino. They should have taken the next
No, that's
candidate,
Patricia
which would have been me, to put on the board, and that's what I would recommend to the board that's seated, is if Rich resigns on the 24th, then, the second place finisher gets on board.
All right, because that's how it should have been, and it's never been that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna push forward to the board, is to say, hey,
and
we got an
the
open board seat, we're not gonna go out to the community, we're gonna say, hey, you voted, these are the people you voted for, but I'll bring it back to the community and say, what do you guys think? If we show of hands at the meeting, yeah, great, we'll seat somebody. We're not gonna pull somebody from from friends and family. So, we've seen that, we've seen how that works.
Trying to place Rich, right?
I'm sorry?
Not at this point.
No, this is Dorothy. Yeah, this is position 5 is Dorothy Taylor's. She chose not to run again. She did not put her name in the hat. These are the two candidates. Yeah, she chose not to.
I don't know if it's one.
So,
Well, after 15 years, it's
Yeah.
probably a good idea.
did that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just,
Okay.
I guess, I was curious of, another position coming up, so if a person here was gonna feel bad not getting on the board.
Right.
They probably more likely would get their chance soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, if the other board member, if Rich chooses to resign,
So these two people could be on the board in the
Yes.
next 3 months.
that's correct.
That is correct.
That's correct.
Absolutely correct.
That's right. One of them elected and one of them appointed. So, one of them elected and then one of them appointed.
He used to be at the last meeting, she said the president of our board found out he couldn't run over us because of these two guys. And he acted like a 5-year-old child. He grabbed it up his stuff, stomped out, and left before the meeting was over.
Didn't even
That's the
learn
president.
that.
That's the president.
And the vice president.
That's the vice president.
In the middle of
That's what we're
discussing getting rid of the law firm.
Yeah. Which will happen next
We were halfway through the agenda,
Which will happen next Thursday.
and
Next Thursday.
They
Next
still
Thursday.
fit like a 5-year-old child.
If you had ever been to any of our meetings, you'd understand why we're so passionate here.
Really? Yeah.
That was screamed them down.
Jay, one of the things that unfortunately you've missed, but we used to have armed guards at these things. Seriously?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at Lynn, like, you serious? Seriously? Yes.
I'm just gonna ask you if you had your boxing.
Yeah, no, seriously. It was crazy. Sometimes two. Like, seriously.
The best part of this is you all have a sense of humor about it. Sometimes.
A lot of times we don't. I'll send you some emails where there's not humor in it. Trust me. Yeah. Trust me.
It took
I
5
appreciate-
years to get there.
I appreciate both of you guys running, because
Yeah.
that takes a lot to put your name to an application,
Yeah.
and I don't want to say the best man wins, it's just whoever wins
Yeah.
and whoever gets appointed. So I thank you very much, because,
Well, hang on a
Yeah.
second. Is there any other questions?
well, that's a question in.
Okay. We're gonna have a comment section. We'll have a comment section, I know. Any other questions? From the audience? Okay. Closing statements by each of you.
Oh, closing statement.
And then we're done.
Sorry.
Sorry, that was the format. I just didn't want to be I'm gonna let Jay go first this time. All right, okay?
So I'll start off by saying, once again, Jeff, thank you for
putting this together. Thank you everybody showing up today, and I've learned a lot today. I've learned a lot. It's exciting to me. It's a shot in the arm for me. It makes me excited about getting to know everybody more and getting more and more involved in this community. And I respect all the questions, and I'm grateful just to have this opportunity to get involved. I'm looking for as many ways as possible as I can to get involved in this community. So I'm hoping that I can bring some skills to the table that maybe are needed, maybe are refreshing. The strong business side that I have, I'll look at this as a business operation. And that's how everything has to be run. And bad people get fired, and you bring better people in, and you contain costs where you have to, and you allocate finances where you have to. That's how I would approach this. So I'm appreciative for this opportunity, and thank everybody for their time.
I like his attitude. He's not even on the board. He wants to fire people already. We've been wanting to do that for 6 months, haven't we, Renee? You know, God, you know. Yeah.
Well,
we've got a couple people down
that's
already.
what needs to be done, though.
One more.
They've been walking away pretty fast.
I know. I'm sorry. Julie.
Well, I want to thank Jeff, and I want to thank all of you for being here and weathering this cold weather. As you know, I've been involved in the community almost from the time I've actually built a house here, so I know you all pretty well. You know me. I basically will do whatever it takes. If Jay ends up, winning the position, as you said, if there's another one, I'll be knocking on the door. I'm very passionate about this community. One thing I didn't say in the beginning was that this has always been home. I mean, I've owned 4 houses in my lifetime, and I know more of you here than I ever knew in anybody that I ever lived when I was in Houston or even Indiana. I guess I could relate to Indiana being closest because I grew up on a farm, so you always knew everybody that was in the industry. So I will do what it takes to get us there and try to keep the integrity and keep us all informed. Even if I'm not, I will be on one of those committees trying to help, just like I do today with the POA. So, I thank you.
All right. Thank you both for coming out. Thank you for coming out the whole day. Thank you for bringing up. Any comments? Thank you very much to everybody. Appreciate it.
When are you shutting off that water to Spectrum?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, time out. Update on Spectrum. I talked to Lance this morning. They're done. They pulled their last pipe yesterday. They're done taking water for us. They're out of here. They just got the overhead to do, but all the underground is done.
I have a question about Spectrum.
Okay.
One of the machines is leaked oil in every spot that it's ever been in. Eventually, that's going to end up in our water system.
Got it. I'll send a note to Lance.
117, you go out there and there's an oil slick.
117. Keswick. Okay.
There's an oil slick this big to go in front yard where there's septic.
Okay, I will tell Lance. I will let Lance know. I appreciate that. A lot of road damage. A lot of it's a POA question. Okay. Hang on a
How many
Cold, freezing.
That's water supply. And the other one is storage. You guys are doing
We got some things working as far That's true. That's how big we Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's gonna change.
The second one is a different place.
I got it.
They don't win.
It might be now, but it was a long time. It's
And we're about everything. They're all crossing our
And then you have like a million.
Lou broke it. I got hers. We're not, and I would never do a public.
What it is, right?
So I had
That's
She released them, break like from all those like 7 bars, they ran by 5 million. No, the only one car was well, we're not gonna get $1 She's friendship homes, there's a way to get her name on it, right? And we make it we make it that's worthwhile, right? Absolutely. And I don't know about jail. I got so tired I had to sit down and look at the steps for a while. That's 3 hours. And I'm glad they're talking
Land shows up. No, I don't know. That's what you explained to me 30 minutes ago. I said, you are father. He goes, I was digging on the other side, back where the big stone is. Oh, yeah. Next to Jean's side. And so they're digging there. Little green pedestal thing. They wanted to put it right on the end of where my gravel is. Yeah, for me, it's small. I said, no, you can't put it like that. I'm gonna have to like post it. My new fence around it. So finally got these boxes. That was when Lance. Anyway, we're on the computer. He went and said they did. There's another one, and I said, because I'm on the I said, well, I'm so Carpenter finally, the story is, he says, where they wanted to put the pedestal with the real on the corner. I'm on the other side, I'm waiting for them. Anyway, so he got her. We're supposed to climb down there into Brian's problem. And then basically, I said, okay, go ahead and do the thing.